Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge etc. The events of 8th November 2024 are follows. Bengali date 22 Kartik 1431. As per Benimadov Sil Ponjika, today's Tithi is Shukla Saptami and up to 1949 hours, and after that Shukla Ashtami. Today's Nakshatra is Uttarashada Nakshatra and up to 0922 hours, and after that Shravana Nakshatra. Today is 313th day of the year. There are then 53 days left in 2024. Today is 45th Friday of 2024. Today is Jagadhatri Saptami Puja. Jagadhatri or Jagadhatri is an aspect of Hindu goddess Durga worshipped in the Indian state of West Bengal and other states like Odisha and Jharkhand. Jagadhatri Puja is particularly famous in Chandannagar town of Hooghly district, Krishnanagar of Nadia district and Ichhapur Nawabganj of North Chobbish Parganas in West Bengal, where it is celebrated as a 5-day long festival. Her worship and rituals are derived from Tantra. It is believed that her worship frees her devotees from ego and all other materialistic desires. According to the Purans, Jagadhatri is the incarnation of Siddhidatri. She is also said to be the combined form of Sri Bhuvaneshwari and Durga. In Bengal, her puja is celebrated as the comeback of Devi, specifically in Krishnanagar, Chandannagar, Risra and Guptipara. Today is International Day of Radiology. The International Day of Radiology is an annual event promoting the role of medical imaging in modern healthcare. It is celebrated on November 8 each year and coincides with the anniversary of the discovery of X-rays. It was first introduced in 2012 as a joint initiative of the European Society of Radiology, the Radiological Society of North America, and the American College of Radiology. The International Day of Radiology is acknowledged and celebrated by nearly 200 national, subspecialty and related societies around the world. Radiographers Association of Madhya Pradesh, India has celebrated this day since 1996, and the theme for this day was raised by Mr. Sivakant Bajpayee, Secretary of Madhya Pradesh Radiographers Association, also holding a designation of Radiation Safety Officer and Senior Radiographer in Government of Madhya Pradesh, India. Today is World Radiography Day. World Radiography Day marks the anniversary of the discovery of X-rays in 1895. The purpose of this day is to raise public awareness of radiographic imaging and therapy, which play a crucial role in the diagnosis and the treatment of patients, and have most importantly ensuring radiation is kept to the minimum required, hence improving the quality of patient care. The day is celebrated worldwide by various national radiographers associations and societies, including Nigeria's Association of Radiographers of Nigeria, United Kingdom Society of Radiographers (SOR), among others. The International Society of Radiographers and Radiological Technologists have celebrated 8 November as Radiography Day, World Radiography Day since 2007. 2007, Radiographers Association of Madhya Pradesh, India has celebrated this day since 1996, and the theme for this day was raised by Mr. Sivakant Bajpayee, Secretary of Madhya Pradesh Radiographers Association, also holding a designation of Radiation Safety Officer and Senior Radiographer in Government of Madhya Pradesh, India. Today is World Town Planning Day, World Urbanism Day. The International Organization for World Urbanism Day, also known as World Town Planning Day, was founded in 1949 by the late Professor Carlos Maria de la Paulera of the University of Buenos Aires, a graduate at the Institut d'Urbanisme in Paris, to advance public and professional interest in planning. It is celebrated in more than 30 countries on 4 continents each November 8. World Pianist Day. World Pianist Day is celebrated annually on November 8. This day is dedicated to honoring pianists worldwide, celebrating the art and influence of piano music across cultures and genres. It's an opportunity to recognize both legendary pianists and emerging talents who bring life to the piano with their skill, dedication, and creativity. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Subrata Mukherjee, 5th March 1911 to 8th November 1960. Subrata Mukherjee, known as the father of the Indian Air Force, was the first Indian commander-in-chief of the Indian Air Force. Born into a distinguished Bengali family, he joined the Royal Air Force and was among the first to join the Indian Air Force in 1933. Mukherjee saw extensive action on the northwest frontier and held key leadership roles, commanding No. 1 Squadron and RAF Station Kohat. He became Commander-in-Chief of the IAF in 1954, overseeing its transformation into an all-jet force. His untimely death in Tokyo in 1960 was a significant loss, and he was honored with full military rights in New Delhi. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Ivan Alexeyevich Bunin, 22nd October 1870 to 8 November 1953. Ivan Alexeyevich Bunin was the first Russian writer awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1933. He was noted for the strict artistry with which he carried on the classical Russian traditions in the writing of prose and poetry. The texture of his poems and stories, sometimes referred to as Bunin brocade, is considered to be one of the richest in the language. Best known for his short novels The Village (1910) and The Dry Valley (1912), his autobiographical novel The Life of Arseniev (1933-1939), the book of short stories Dark Avenues (1946), and his 1917 to 1918 diary Cursed Days (1926). Bunin was a revered figure among white immigrants, European critics, and many of his fellow writers, who viewed him as a true heir to the tradition of realism in Russian literature established by Tolstoy and Chekhov. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Vitaly L. Ginzburg, 4th October 1916 to 8 November 2009. Vitaly Lazarevich Ginzburg was a Russian physicist who was honored with Nobel Prize in Physics in 2003, together with Alexei Abrikosov and Anthony Leggett for their pioneering contributions to the theory of superconductors and superfluids. His career in physics was spent in the former Soviet Union and was one of the leading figures in former Soviet program of nuclear weapons, working towards design of the thermonuclear devices. He became a member of the Russian Academy of Sciences and succeeded Igor Tamm as head of the Department of Theoretical Physics of the Lebedev Physical Institute of the Russian Academy of Sciences (FIAN). In his later life, Ginzburg became an outspoken atheist, was critical of clergy's influence in Russian society. Today is date anniversary of Mr. Santadas Kathia Baba, 10th June 1959 to 8th November 1935. Santadas Kathia Baba was a revered saint and spiritual leader in India, known for his deep devotion and contributions to the Gaudiya Vaishnavism tradition. Born into a pious family, he embraced spirituality early in life and became a prominent disciple of Nitya Lila Pravishta Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, a key figure in the revival and spread of Gaudiya Vaishnavism in the modern era. Kathia Baba founded ashrams and temples aiming to promote devotion to Lord Krishna and spiritual knowledge. His teachings emphasized love, devotion, bhakti and humility, encouraging followers to lead a life centered around Krishna's teachings and the practices of kirtan, devotional singing and satsang, spiritual gatherings. He attracted many followers, creating a spiritual community dedicated to preserving the rich traditions of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Today is birth anniversary of Dr. Kamal Ranadive, 8th November 1917 to 11th April 2001. Kamal Jai Singh Ranadive was an Indian biomedical researcher known for her research on the links between cancers and viruses. She was a founding member of the Indian Women Scientists Association (IWSA). In the 1960s, she established India's first tissue culture research laboratory at the Indian Cancer Research Center in Mumbai. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Purushottam Lakshman Deshpande, 8th November 1919 to 12th June 2000. Purushottam Lakshman Deshpande, popularly known by his initials Pula or as P.L. Deshpande, was a Marathi writer and humorist from Maharashtra. He was also an accomplished film and stage actor, a script writer, author, composer, musician, singer and narrator. He was often referred to as Maharashtra's beloved personality. Deshpande's works have been translated into several languages including English and Kannada. Today is birth anniversary of Miss Setara Devi, 8th November 1920 to 25th November 2014. Chitra Devi was an Indian dancer of the classical Kathak style of dancing, a singer and actress. She was the recipient of several awards and accolades and performed at several prestigious venues in India and abroad, including the Royal Albert Hall, London, 1967, and at the Carnegie Hall, New York, 1976. At a young age, Devi met Rabindranath Tagore. He, out of affection, described her as Nritya Samragni, meaning the Empress of Dance. After watching her performance when she was just 16 years old, some people consider her as a Kathak queen. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Jack Kilby, 8th November 1923 to 20th June 2005. Jack St. Clair Kilby was an American electrical engineer who took part, along with Robert Noyce of Fairchild Semiconductor, in the realization of the first integrated circuit while working at Texas Instruments in 1958. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics on 10th December 2000. Kilby was also the co-inventor of the handheld calculator and the thermal printer, for which he had the patents. He also had patents for 7 other inventions. Today, that is 8th November, highlight in history. 1602, the Bodleian Library at the University of Oxford is opened to the public. 1605, Robert Catesby, ringleader of the gunpowder plotters, is killed. 1614, Japanese daimyo Dom Justo Tokayama is exiled to the Philippines by Shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu for being Christian. 1620, the Battle of White Mountain takes place near Prague, ending in a decisive Catholic victory in only 2 hours. 1644, the Sunji Emperor, the third emperor of the Qing dynasty, is enthroned in Beijing after the collapse of the Ming dynasty as the first king emperor to rule over China. Today, that is 8th November, highlight in history. 1745, Charles Edward Stuart invades England with an army of approximately 5,000 that would later participate in the Battle of Culloden. 1837, Mary Lyon founds Mount Holyoke Female Seminary, which later becomes Mount Holyoke College. 1861, American Civil War. The Trent affairs. The USS San Jacinto stops the British mail ship Trent and arrests 2 Confederate envoys, sparking a diplomatic crisis in between the UK and US. 1889, Montana is admitted as the 41st US state. 1892, the New Orleans General Strike begins, uniting black and white American trade unities in a successful 4-day general strike action for the first time. 1895, while experimenting with electricity, William Röntgen discovers the X-ray. 1901, Gospel riots, bloody clashes take place in Athens following the translation of the Gospels into Demotic Greek. 1917, the first Council of People's Commissars is formed, including Vladimir Lenin, Leon Trotsky, and Joseph Stalin. 1919, Eichenfield massacre. Members of the Revolutionary Insurgent Army of Ukraine murder 136 Mennonite colonists at Jaskio, initiating a series of massacres that resulted in the deaths of 827 Ukrainian Mennonites. 1920, Rupert Bear, illustrated by Mary Tortel, makes his first appearance in print. 1923, Beer Hall push in Munich. Adolf Hitler leads the Nazis in an unsuccessful attempt to overthrow the German government. 1932, Franklin D. Roosevelt is elected as the 32nd President of the United States, defeating incumbent President Herbert Hoover. 1933, Great Depression, New Deal. US President Franklin D. Roosevelt unveils the Civil Works Administration, an organization designed to create jobs for more than 4 million unemployed. 1936, Spanish Civil War. Francoist troops fail in their effort to capture Madrid but begin the 3-year siege of Madrid afterwards. 1937, the Nazi exhibition Der Ewige Jude, the Eternal Jew, opens in Munich. 1939, Venlo incident. 2 British agents of SIS are captured by the Germans. 1939, in Munich, Adolf Hitler narrowly escapes the assassination attempt of George Elser while celebrating the 16th anniversary of the Beer Hall putsch. 1940, Greco-Italian War. The Italian invasion of Greece fails as outnumbered Greek units repulse the Italians in the Battle of Ilalia Calamas. 1942 World War II. French resistance coup in Algeria, in which 400 civilian French patriots neutralized Vichy's 19th Army Corps after 15 hours of fighting and arrest several Vichy generals, allowing the immediate success of Operation Torch in Algiers. 1950 Korean War. United States Air Force left Russell J. Brown while piloting an F-80 Shooting Star shoots down two North Korean MiG-15s in the first jet aircraft-to-jet aircraft dogfight in history. 1957 Pan Am Flight 7 disappears between San Francisco and Honolulu. Wreckage and bodies are discovered a week later. 1957 Operation Grapple X. Round C1. The United Kingdom conducts its first successful hydrogen bomb test over Kiritimati in the Pacific. 1960 John F. Kennedy is elected as the 35th President of the United States, defeating incumbent Vice President Richard Nixon, who would later be elected President in 1968 and 1972. 1963 Finnair's Aeroflight 217 crashes near Mariehamn Airport in Jumala Island, killing 22 people. 1965 The British Indian Ocean Territory is created, consisting of Chagos Archipelago, Aldabra, Farquhar and Des Roches Islands. 1965 The Murder Abolition of Death Penalty Act 1965 is given royal assent, formally abolishing the death penalty in the United Kingdom for almost all crimes. 1965 The 173rd Airborne is ambushed by over 1200 Viet Cong in Operation Hump during the Vietnam War, while the 1st Battalion Royal Australian Regiment fight one of the first set-piece engagements of the war between Australian forces and the Viet Cong at the Battle of Gang Tuoi. 1965 American Airlines Flight 383 crashes in Constance, Kentucky, killing 58. 1966 Former Massachusetts Attorney General Edward Brooke becomes the first African American elected to the United States Senate since Reconstruction. 1966 US President Lyndon B. Johnson signs into law an antitrust exemption allowing the National Football League to merge with the upstart American Football League. 1968 The Vienna Convention on Road Traffic is signed to facilitate international road traffic and to increase road safety by standardizing the uniform traffic rules among the signatories. 1972 American paid television network home box office HBO launches. 1973 The right ear of John Paul Getty III is delivered to a newspaper outlet along with the ransom note, convincing his father to pay US $2.9 million. 1977 Manolis Andronikos, a Greek archaeologist and professor at the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, discovers the tomb of Philip II of Macedon at Virginia. 1981 Aeromexico Flight 110 crashes near Cihuatanejo, Mexico, killing all 1800 people on board. 1983 TAG Angola Airline Flight 462 crashes after takeoff from Lubango Airport, killing all 130 people on board. UNITA claims to have shot down the aircraft, though this is disputed. 1987 Remembrance Day bombing. A provisional IRA bomb explodes in Enniskillen, Northern Ireland during a ceremony honoring those who had died in wars involving British forces. 12 people are killed and 63 wounded. 1988 US Vice President George H.W. Bush is elected as the 41st President. 1994 Republican Revolution. On the night of the 1994 United States midterm elections, Republicans make historic electoral gains by securing massive majorities in both houses of Congress, 54 seats in the houses and 8 seats in the all Senate additionally, thus bringing to a close 4 decades of Democratic domination. 1997 Eritrea adopts the Nakfa as its official currency. 1999 Bruce Miller is killed at his junkyard near Flint, Michigan. His wife Sherry Miller, who convinced her online lover Jerry Cassidy to kill him, before later killing himself, was convicted of the crime in what became the world's first internet murder. 2002 Iraq disarmament crisis. UN Security Council Resolution 1441. The United Nations Security Council unanimously approves a resolution on Iraq, forcing Saddam Hussein to disarm or face serious consequences. 2004 Iraq War. More than 10,000 US troops and a small number of Iraqi army units participated in a siege on the insurgent stronghold of Fallujah. 2006 Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The Israeli Defense Force killed 19 Palestinian civilians in their homes during the shelling of Beit Hanun. 2011 The potentially hazardous asteroid 2005 YU-55 passes 0.85 lunar distances from Earth, about 3,24,600 kilometers or 2,17,000 miles, the closest known approach by an asteroid of its brightness since 2010 into C15 in 1976. 2013 Typhoon Haiyan, one of the strongest tropical cyclones ever recorded, strikes the Visayas region of the Philippines. The storm left at least 6,340 people dead, with over 100 still missing, and caused $2.86 billion 2013 USD equivalent to $3.74 billion in 2023 in damage. 2016 Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi publicly announces the withdrawal of Rs 500 and Rs 1000 denomination banknotes. 2016 Donald Trump is elected the 45th President of the United States, defeating Hillary Clinton, the first woman ever to receive a major party nomination. 2020 Myanmar holds the 2020 general election, re-electing a government led by the National League for Democracy, which is deposed by the Burmese military the following February during the 2021 Myanmar coup defeat. Thank you very much for your patience.